From LALATE headquarters in Santa Monica, this is Afternoons LALATE.
Big updates as we now know when your $1,400 third stimulus check will be landing in your bank account, and that date is tomorrow. Breaking news in the last few minutes as we now know that March 17th is the effective date to get your third stimulus check in your bank account. Yes, your $1,400 third stimulus check will land electronically tomorrow. Others may get it on the 18th as well. And we now know details about when that paper check will be landing across the board as well. This includes viewers on SSI, SSDI, Social Security, and rural benefits. Meantime, Elizabeth Warren has new messages for you as well. I have big updates about forced stimulus. And guess what? Forced stimulus is heating up as the retail sales numbers are not. Retail sales numbers for February were released this morning and they were bad. This would signal that tomorrow, when the Federal Reserve issues its FOMC meeting notes, it will signal stimulus is still needed. The toast was toasting, the butter was buttering this morning, and it's still heating up as the president gives you the incredible great news that you wanted to hear. I have several major recordings breaking minutes ago from the White House, from the East Coast to the West Coast. From all across the land, $1,400 stimulus checks are landing tomorrow. Let's get to it. This is Afternoons LALATE. Congratulations, a $1,400 third stimulus check will be landing in your bank account tomorrow. This is huge news. We have the confirmation. $1,400 third stimulus check landing tomorrow, March 17th, for millions of Americans across this country. Others may see it the 18th. I'll go over who, when, what time, and all those details. I'll be going over Direct Express. I'll be going over the tracking tool. I'll be going over paper checks. I'll be going over everything you've asked across the board. The third stimulus check is no longer a guessing game. We now have the certainty. And in this video, you're going to see all those details and more. Also, I'll be cutting back to forced stimulus. Thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars will be coming to you under forced stimulus if Democrats have their way. And those stimulus checks are for you if you make less than $45,000. This is huge, great news. Meantime, I have big news from Elizabeth Warren. I have big news about that $10,200 for unemployment and amended returns and that $3,600 for children. It's not the news you would have thought you would have heard. And the biggest news of all, after your stimulus check, the next most important thing you want to hear tomorrow, later in the day, is green beer. No, it's not green beer. It's the FOMC notes. Yeah, can you imagine green beer, $1,400 stimulus checks, and FOMC notes all on the same day? Well, you may know what green beer is, but may not know what FOMC notes are. They will determine the fate of your forced stimulus. I'll be going over that later in this video. I will not have green beer for you, though, in this video. If you have not subscribed, make sure you subscribe. I am just loving the love today, and we'll have a live chat later in this video, and I have breaking details at the end of this video. Stay with me to the end. We'll be going live. We'll be answering questions if you're tuning in. This is a live broadcast at 1:20 Pacific Standard Time on a Tuesday afternoon, which is 4:20 on the East Coast. Meantime, right after this is Purple, and then I'm back tonight with Evenings LALATE, and it's a big show. You're really going to like it. It's better than $12 ice cream. Even Sirloin likes it. And he doesn't like a lot of stuff. So make sure you subscribe. Also, like this video if you've not become a member. The member link is at the top of the chat. All right, let's go over several things that are happening with your $1,400 third stimulus check. Number one, if you haven't gotten it today, and you haven't gotten it over the last few days, and you see that it shows March 17th in your IRS Track My Stimulus tool, then guess what? 9 out of 10 times, you're getting the stimulus check tomorrow. We now know. Number 2, if you have checked with your bank or you've gone on social media and you're one of the banks that says March 17th is when you're getting a stimulus check, 9 out of 10 times, you're getting it March 17th tomorrow as well. Congratulations. Finally, if you have seen no information about when your direct deposit of your stimulus check is going to occur, no information from IRS, no information from your bank, still 9 out of 10 times you will see it tomorrow, March 17th. So what is the only equation in which it may not be March 17th? The most likely other equation is it's March 18th. This is huge breaking news, and let me explain what has happened throughout the day. There's been a lot of developments throughout the day. I'm going backwards in time. The most recent announcement was the major banks have now made very clear that when they received the funds from IRS last Friday, the date of the funds was March 17th. This is like someone sending you a check, and in the corner of the check it says March 17th. Well, if you brought the check to the bank on the 11th, the bank would say, no, it's the 17th. We can't cash it yet. Come back to us on the 17th. That's what the big banks are saying about the March 17th. That's why they have chosen not to release the funds until the 17th, which means one of two possibilities. Either the funds are released on the 17th, or the funds are pending on the 17th to release on the 18th. That's item number 1. So this is incredible great news. If you have watched this channel since last Friday, you understand that millions of Americans have gotten already their $1,400 third stimulus check. Those who've gotten it bank at Chime or Cash App or H&R Block Emerald Card. Some are big bank customers, some are small bank customers. And then in the same universe, there have been big banks and there have been small banks that said, no, March 17th, come back to us. So when on March 17th specifically would you see the funds, and how can you ensure that you're getting the funds on March 17th? I'll have all those details in a second. But let me cut to the paper check people for a second. The day started with incredible great news as the President of the United States addressed the American public, and specifically his comments relate to the paper checks. Under second stimulus, paper checks took 3 weeks from law to land in people's mailboxes. Not this time around. This time around, everyone, including the paper check people, which are the last wave of people, paper checks and also debit card people, they will receive it 10 days from last Thursday. This is huge, great news. Here is the video that was released this morning explaining these 10 days.
Million shots in people's arms, 100 million shots, and 100 million checks of $1,400 or more in people's pockets within the next 10 days.
100 million checks will land in people's pockets within the next 10 days. This is an incredible change of events. If you don't know what's going on, the White House has ramped up the delivery time of the stimulus checks faster than any time. Remember, the president has a different Treasury Secretary. The president has different protocols. And the president's message yesterday was do things faster.
Last week, I said help is on the way. This week, I can report this isn't just on the way, it's here, sooner than many ever thought possible. Over the next 10 days, we will reach two goals, two giant goals. The first is 100 million shots in people's arms will have been completed within the next 10 days, and 100 million checks in people's pockets.
The president then went on to mistakenly say, within 100 days you get the checks. But that's why he released this morning's video correcting himself to make it very clear it's within 10 days all Americans will get their stimulus checks. But what about the direct deposit people? This is the huge great news. We now know, because of a series of statements released by big banks after the president's statement this morning, that the big banks will be releasing the funds on March 17th. So congratulations. On March 17th, you're getting $1,400 in green beer. I don't know if I should congratulate you about the green beer. Now, here's what you need to know. This includes SSI, SSDI, Social Security, Railroad benefits, includes Direct Express card. It includes everyone who's expecting a direct deposit. If you receive the first stimulus check by direct deposit and the second one, this is you. If you receive Direct Express payments every month on a Direct Express card from the federal government, this is you. This is not you if you filed a 2020 tax return and attempted to change your banking information and that tax return is still pending. IRS says that's not going to work. IRS actually issued a statement this week saying that ain't going to work. So what about Direct Express customers? This is really good news because I clearly have a lot of Direct Express viewers this channel. Millions have tuned into my Direct Express videos on this channel about the $14 deposit this week. And all of them has said, one, they have not gotten a penny as of Tuesday, 1 p.m. in the afternoon on the West Coast. Number two, a few have said it shows pending for tomorrow. Number three, countless have said that while they are a Direct Express consumer, when they track their stimulus check on IRS.GOV, it shows March 17th. This is huge, great news. That Direct Express is on March 17th, much like the big banks have all said March 17th. Of all the viewers this channel, I think only one viewer has said their big bank said March 18th. But here you are, the big update slowly hitting very, what did I say, slowly? Hitting very quickly is the following. One, millions of Americans will receive their direct deposit tomorrow, March 17th. Of them, a few may show it pending for the 18th, but countless will show it available tomorrow. Number two, the president has confirmed that paper checks, the slowest instrument, will land within 10 days of last Thursday, which means that paper check recipients will see the debit cards or the paper checks arrive next week. If you don't know which one you're going to get, let me tell you this for the first time today. For paper checks, they come in a beige envelope. For debit cards from the federal government, they come in a white envelope. My advice to you, I have a couple of items of advice, and please heed my advice. First, if you're a paper check recipient, watch the mail very carefully over the next 7 days. Do not toss things because you think it's junk mail, because the check from the U.S. government often comes in a very bland envelope, which you may think is junk mail. Number two, tomorrow, when you get the $1,400 stimulus check in your account and you want to withdraw the funds, do not do it at an ATM. I believe it's a very big security risk that millions of Americans will go to ATM machines tomorrow and withdraw $1,400 checks in open view of the public over and over and over again. I think it's a big ticking time bomb for pickpockets. Rather, most banks, nearly all banks, will allow you to come into the bank teller, present your card, whatever instrument it is, and withdraw those funds for free. You can put them into the privacy of an envelope and put in your pocket. If the bank you go to says no, try the bank next door, because almost all banks will allow you to withdraw funds from an unemployment card or a federal stimulus card or a Direct Express card for free. This is to be sure that you do not set yourself up for scammers or any pickpockets tomorrow. Next, what day, hour of the day would the stimulus check arrive tomorrow? And how do you ensure that that is yours and that it's not coming later in the day? I have those details in a second. But first, let me cut to the other breaking news. The other breaking news is Wall Street. The FOMC meeting is tomorrow. Well, the FOMC notes from the meetings is tomorrow. The FOMC meeting started today. What is the FOMC meeting? It's about the Federal Reserve and it's about your stimulus. During this pandemic, since 2020, the Federal Reserve has been doing three things to support this economy. One, buying bonds. Two, buying mortgages. And three, keeping interest rates flat. The Federal Reserve is expected to tell the American public if they will stop doing that support, and that statement will happen today and tomorrow. Tomorrow we will see the notes about it. Why is this important for you? Because ultimately, you do not want to see the Federal Reserve stop stimulating the economy, because that would be movement against forced stimulus. More importantly, the retail numbers released this morning were not good. And this would be singly the best reason for the fourth stimulus package of the Democrats. Why? The retail sales numbers for February were released this morning, and it showed a decline in retail sales, a negative number. Wall Street was looking for a positive number. In January, the number was positive because the $600 stimulus check was spent in January. February, no one had the $600 stimulus check. And so now suddenly, Democrats, specifically Bernie Sanders, specifically other Democrats across the Senate and the House, have the push to do reoccurring stimulus checks. In the last few weeks, those Democrats have reached out to the president and said, when you present us the next stimulus package in the next few weeks, it must have monthly checks, and those monthly checks have to be reoccurring until the pandemic's over. This is huge because this would be about $2,000 a month for 6 months. $12,000. If you're on SSI or SSDI, this is you. If you make less than $75,000, this is you. This would be $2,000 a month every month to the end of the pandemic. Don't think this is a huge number. I'm going to tell you why. The White House, on a meeting last Friday, said it wants to consider paying parents of 18-year-olds $3,000 a year for 18 years. So the White House is certainly on a path to spending a lot of money right now. $12,000 may have looked a lot of money last year. It's not a lot of money this time around. Meantime, when you see those retail sales numbers on January, which are not good, the president would have to do this push as well. But I have big developments from Elizabeth Warren. I have other developments about the IRS Track My Stimulus tool. I'll have a new video from Warren that explains what she's pushing for. And then I'll be going over more about what that IRS Track My Stimulus tool may say and may not say. Finally, shocking developments about not amending your tax return to get unpaid money. And I'll be answering some of your questions. That's all coming up in just 60 seconds. But first, here's a little bit about the community page. If you want money right now, not 5 days from now, and not 5 weeks from now, then reach out to the community page. The volunteers can help you find that money for rent and utilities. That's at news.la.com/community. The community page features a series of volunteers who are viewers like you. They can help you find rent, utilities, SNAP, food benefits, mortgage assistance, and help you with eviction moratorium questions as well. Their Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram individuals reach out to them and indicate the city and state you're from, and they'll get back to you shortly. That's a community page. Volunteers working for you, viewers helping one another. Stay with LA for more. Join LALATE daily for the excitement of the new LALATE live daily. The excitement starts on mornings LALATE at 9 a.m. Home LALATE returns at 11 a.m. daily. And then afternoons LALATE at 1 p.m. Join us daily as the excitement continues live from Santa Monica on LALATE. And the excitement continues tonight as Evenings LALATE returns. Boy, are you excited? Yes, your hit show returns tonight at 8 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, 5 o'clock Pacific Standard Time. And who do I see in the room? And there's Brandon, and there's Dana, and there's Elisa, and there's Kelly, and there's Bonita, and Cindy as well. And who else do I see? Colleen, and Holly, and Kristen, and Cheryl, and Jennifer, and Jenny, and Andrew, and Bill, and Alma. It's a big day, and I'll be answering all of your questions in just about 5 minutes. But first, I have a lot more breaking news right across the board. If you've not subscribed, make sure you subscribe. I don't want you to miss anything today. Coming up right after this is Purple, and then we go right into Evenings LALATE, followed by Hazard Pay. And also, if you've not liked this video, it really helps in the algorithm rankings. Let's get 1,000, 5,000, 10,000 likes. It really helps. Also, if you've not become a member, consider becoming a member. The link is in the top of the chat. If you're just joining me, here's the major update. 1. If you've not received your $1,400 third stimulus check, you will be receiving it likely tomorrow. And if it's not tomorrow, it would be the day after. What time tomorrow would you see the stimulus check post? It could be any time tomorrow. Banks will start to post the accounts of $1,400 starting at 12:01 a.m. local time tomorrow, March 17th. It will continue to post the available funds throughout the day. Banks may do it different ways. One, they may do all the posting at the same time, or they may do it staggered, some at 8 a.m., some at 9 a.m., some at 10 a.m. So don't worry if you bank at Bank of George and your neighbor got it at 8 a.m. and you don't see anything by 9 o'clock. Don't worry. More importantly, don't worry if it goes from pending to processing. Some banks may show it pending tomorrow and then pending tomorrow and then available funds the 18th. Ultimately, this is the other updates. Direct Express card. No viewers have received the stimulus check today. Some have received a pending status for tomorrow. But countless Direct Express consumers and viewers of this channel have shown a March 17th date for a pending check for their Direct Express at IRS.GOV tracking tool. For others on SSI and SSDI, you are no different than anyone else. It's dependent upon your big bank, and countless big banks have said March 17th is the date. Finally, if you use the IRS tracking tool and it shows no information, that doesn't mean much of anything. Let me go over that right now. Here is the IRS tracking tool. There it is. No, that's not it. It is this one. Here we go. If you go to IRS.gov and you try to track your stimulus check, several things can happen. If it says March 17th, you're likely to get the funds on March 17th. If it shows the amount of the stimulus check for the household, it likely is correct. If it's off, don't worry. If it shows no information for your Track My Stimulus check, also don't worry. The tool is generally not reliable and not accurate. But a lot of viewers have reported that when they do paper checks for stimulus checks, it shows no information at IRS.gov. Here's another thing to learn. Countless viewers have informed this channel that when they check the tool on one day, it says one thing, and on another day, another thing. Finally, the best advice is that if similarly situated people get the same result as you get, and you have the same instrument that they do, that's the net result. People on Direct Express have used the tool and gotten March 17th. So other people on Direct Express should presume that Direct Express is March 17th. Certain people with certain banks the big banks have used this tool, check my stimulus check of IRS.gov or get my payment, and they have gotten a March 17th date. So ultimately, if it doesn't work for you, don't worry because others have gotten as well. But here's a breaking development. The IRS issued a statement in just the last few days, telling people do not do amended returns to fix anything. Do not do an amended return to fix a missing stimulus check. Do not do an amended return to get a child care check. Do not do an amended return to do a child check of $3,600. And do not use an amended return to do the $1,700 or the $10,200. Don't use the amended return is the emphatic repeated statement by IRS. So what do? IRS says that if you already filed your 2020 individual tax return, hold off, do not do an amended return, and they will have advisories posted in the next few days. They say as to people who have not filed the 2020 tax return, which is not due to April, hold off on filing it because they will have information about the modification in the next few days. Meantime, what about Elizabeth Warren? Elizabeth Warren had big updates, and her updates concerned what she wants also from this White House. Elizabeth Warren has introduced standalone bills, and you know what they are. In March of last year, she introduced that $200 a month of SSI and SSDI. It's now an expired bill. But about 2 weeks ago, she introduced the wealth tax bill, and she also introduced the student loan debt forgiveness of $50,000. Well, Elizabeth Warren and Chuck Schumer collectively have both said that bills need to go by executive order. And late yesterday, Elizabeth Warren met with the White House and said this needs to go by executive order. These things need to go by executive order. They shouldn't be bills. She says it doesn't make sense for it to be a bill. It doesn't make sense to go through Congress, and that Trump and Obama have done it by executive order. The president should do it by executive order again. Remember, the $50,000 student loan debt forgiveness is not supported by the president. He wants $10,000. Here is a recent video by Elizabeth Warren explaining how it helps a lot of people.
Consequence of student loan debt means there are lots of people who aren't moving out from their parents' homes, lots of people who aren't buying their own homes, and one of the other things the data shows, lots of people who are not starting their own businesses. And all of those things hold back our economy. And I make that point because I'm sure there are lots of folks who are on this call tonight who don't have student loan debt. But here's the deal. Even if you don't have student loan debt, you will be helped by seeing student loan debt canceled because it will help our economy. This is one of those things that doesn't have to go through Congress. The authority is already there in law for the president and his team, the administration, the Secretary of Education, to cancel out this student loan debt. And President Obama used it to cancel some student loan debt. President Trump used it to cancel some student loan debt. I want to see President Biden use it. If he would cancel $50,000 in student loan debt, it would make an enormous difference in the lives of tens of millions of Americans and help build our entire nation a stronger future going forward. So, as you know, I'm all in on this one. And if we could persuade the president, we could do this one fast.
A lot of things can be done by the president fast, and among them are SSI, SSDI, hazard pay, FPUC, retro, and more. But the incredible great news is that forced stimulus is just around the corner. And forced stimulus has a push of nearly 100 Democrats in both the House and the Senate asking for reoccurring stimulus checks every month for at least 6 months, which would be upwards of $12,000. This $12,000 would be more than hazard pay, more than SSI and SSDI $2,400, and a lot more than FPUC retro. And this could all be determined tomorrow. Why? Because the FOMC notes from the Federal Reserve, which details what they want to do with stimulating this economy, may show that this economy is far from normal. That lack of normality in the economy was shown this morning when the retail sales numbers were bad, very bad for the month of February. Less than 60 days after a $600 stimulus check went out, meaning the $600 stimulus check went out, Americans spent it, and then they didn't have money to spend on retail sales. Ultimately, we will see what's happening with that. But for now, let me answer some of your incredible questions. It's time to do the Q&A. If you have questions about your stimulus check, let me see it right now. It's shortly after 1:45 on the West Coast in a live broadcast, and let me jump into the chat right now with the viewers. Is that per person? That is per person. That's for everyone who makes less than $75,000. That's what the Democrats are posing for this as well. Student loan debt. Then I want a credit card debt paid off as well. I love that. Bruce, you're fantastic. I hate missing any of your live shows because you truly update information. Thank you, Ally. I appreciate it. And I'm very thankful that I've been able in this platform to now deliver you videos, live feeds, things happening. You certainly see now my ability to really ramp up, whether it's showing you an IRS tool or showing Elizabeth Warren or showing you something for the White House. I can deliver you a lot more technology with this platform than before. Jacqueline, hey, Ally, you're doing a great job. Thank you, Jacqueline. Dre Mosley, when will we be able to get the check? Tomorrow. Countless viewers will get the money tomorrow. Anything new on Direct Express? Bruce. So yes, Direct Express consumers have yet to receive any money as of Tuesday afternoon. But now we really do believe that Direct Express may post tomorrow because 1, several viewers show it pending for tomorrow. 2, several Direct Express consumers have used the IRS tracking tool, which is located right here, and they show it for March 17th. Rock says my wife's student loan debt, my student loan is in a certain status. Will it still be forgiven? Yes, that's absolutely a great question. The student loan debt forgiveness would be for everyone, whether it's a 10-year-old debt, a debt that's in a strange status, or anything. Sarah, LA is my sunshine. Well, thank you, Sarah. Debbie, is that student loan debt for private and federal? It is. It is. That's a great question also. Let's see. Chef Roberto is here, and I feel better that my direct deposit will post tomorrow. Cindy, before you, I had no idea what was going on. I appreciate that. What about fifth stimulus? Well, we'll see what happens with fifth stimulus. At the moment, we're at third stimulus and fourth stimulus. AARP website says SSI is supposed to receive the stimulus on Friday. I don't know why that would say that. That's a peculiar day. But remember, March 17th is tomorrow, and the day after is the 18th. Thank you, Brother Joshua, for the super chat. Really appreciate it. LALATE go green tomorrow. Crayola King with some emojis. Anyone who banks with this bank heard any pending notices? Gail. For Gail, yes. For the bank you just posted, Gail, I've seen March 17th for that bank, Gail. I'd rather not mention particular banks on air, as you see, so I'll answer it that way. I just checked my Direct Express card and still nothing. Brad in Virginia. Thank you, Brad, for the information. We know now that no viewer of this channel has seen a penny from Direct Express for Tuesday through today, Tuesday. Debbie, thank you for the super chat. Direct Express cardholders, Amanda, yes. So Direct Express cardholders will likely see the stimulus appear tomorrow or the 18th, but likely tomorrow. No one has gotten it so far today. Wow, now the chat is really zooming. My son is on SSI, and it came in last Friday. It will be released tomorrow. Ooh, that's an interesting one. Mabel, what about the paper checks? Thank you, Mabel. So the paper checks we have here in a statement from the president this morning. And the statement from the president this morning said that the paper checks will land within 10 days of last Thursday. Here again was the president's statement that's saying all stimulus checks will land within 10 days. Let me give you that video again so you can watch it, hopefully, if I can grab it, or maybe I cannot. Well, this is what he said. He said, we're going to reach it in the next 10 days, and away we go. You would get that stimulus check in your bank account.
Shots. And 100 million checks of $1,400 or more in people's pockets within the next 10 days. We're on the way.
And there you are. Within the next 10 days, you would see that stimulus check in your direct deposit. The butter would be buttering better, and the toast would be toasting even better than that. Rock on, says Crayola King. She said she checked her card and it has a check for tomorrow. Rachel. What about direct deposit? Says Brenda, for tomorrow. And there you are with, wow, 33 minutes on the clock. This was a long video. And I think I covered everything I wanted to cover. It just feels like there's a lot happening in this video. Let me give you a big recap because it just looks like we went everywhere. By the way, the Dow was down and the NASDAQ was down, but nothing eventful. It's been a huge day. First, the president addressed the American public with a statement today assuring you that everyone's going to get their stimulus check within 10 days of last Thursday. So this gives you the time frame for the paper check people. Direct Express will likely see the stimulus check appear tomorrow. Everyone else, big banks, if you use the IRS Track My Stimulus tool and it shows March 17th, that's likely to be tomorrow. Also, if your big bank says March 17th, it's also likely to be tomorrow. When tomorrow? It could be any time during the day tomorrow. Have I heard anything about a new PPP round? Fun times or run times? It has not gone live yet. One of the people in the video before me asked, in the video before this, asked me, what about EIDL? I got to tell you, the current SBA head, this is what she has not yet done. Get a pen. Second stimulus hasn't done EIDL grant for low income, hasn't done EIDL grant for agriculture. First stimulus hasn't done the EIDL grant for the 10,000 people. Third stimulus hasn't done the EIDL grant for the 5,000, or the EIDL grant for the low income, or the shuttered venue, or hasn't done the shuttered venue for the second stimulus, and hasn't done the PPP for the third stimulus. I mean, is that 9 items she hasn't done? So it's just, needless to say, thank goodness she's not in charge of your stimulus checks. I'm back with you next with Purple, and then we go into evenings LATE, and finally Hazard Pay. Thank you for joining me. If you've not subscribed, make sure you hit that subscribe button, like this video, and if you've not become a member, consider becoming a member. Join me tonight because that Hazard Pay is a major, massive video, and you're gonna love it. Stay with LATE for more.